In today's episode of Peeling Away the Clutter, I have a new awkward angle for you, and there will be more. We are back in the scrapbook room, and I decided that I wanted to put some things away, and I am sorting them into all of my bins. I've got my tower of bins, and then I also have my individual bins, which is where things are going to end up. I haven't labeled things yet, but we will get to that. As you can see, I have brought in a couple of tables. One is smaller, one a bit larger, and that is so I can work on the mystery boxes, which I will also get to later. I went back to my community post about your questions, and I'm going to answer some more of those. The first one is from Trisha Bobisha, which I love that name. Do you feel comfortable in decluttered spaces after they are done? So far, each space has been different, but I'm actually kind of intimidated by my scrapbook room. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm just afraid that I will reclutter. And so I've been very afraid to do a project, which is kind of foolish because that's the whole reason I did this, and I need to figure out how to live in my house and work on changing my ways. I can't improve if I'm too scared to do anything in here, right? That is one reason why I need to get these mystery boxes out of the house. I want to reclaim this room. I'll probably leave the smaller table in here, which I will use as a sorting table. I am telling myself that it will be good for me to work in this room so I can see what I need to do differently nowadays. But until things are clear, I just decided to go ahead and grab a bin from the ones that Bonnie and Hallie had put down underneath the desk, and I'm putting stuff where it needs to go. There were a lot of tags in here and some stamp sets, some dog themed stuff, and a number of items that I am letting go. I am pretty sure that I hadn't gone through these before because I don't remember finding a Batman die before. I'm keeping that though. That's not going anywhere. Some other items are going elsewhere though, and that's nice. I'm doing a lot of sorting right now, more than I am decluttering, but I'm flexing my decluttering muscles a little bit too. Let's get back to the question about whether I'm comfortable in the decluttered spaces. Not quite yet. I've talked a bit about how I really enjoy them. I really enjoy the clean space at first, and then I do kind of have that freeze moment where I just don't know what to do because I'm changing decades of habits, and that's hard. That's hard. Emotionally, I'm doing all right, which is good because it's when I get depressed that I don't really do much of anything. That's the long answer. I guess the short answer is I feel comfortable enough that it like gives me hope that I can live in a decluttered space, but I'm not like fully there yet. And that's to be expected at this point of the journey. Now I am at my desk. I have got my pink bag. This is my travel bag. So I can work on the Peeling Away the Clutter scrapbook. I think that might be a good way to set my toe back into scrapbooking and crafting. They're pretty easy, not as elaborate as a 12 by 12 page. I don't know, it's funny. I've experienced this in the past. I've had times where I haven't scrapbooked before, and then there are times when I scrapbook a lot. And when I haven't scrapbooked in a while, I do feel a little bit rusty. We are at another awkward angle. You're going to be seeing lots of shots of the back of my head, especially coming up here shortly. So in honor of my awkward angles, I want to tell you that I am excited to share that the merch is ready. So I hope you will check out this site. There are t-shirts, of course, and I'm going to do an introductory special with 10% off using the code PEELING10. Feel free to send me pictures of you wearing a shirt. I will put that in the scrapbook. I will cover your face for general view. But like I said before, this is not just my scrapbook, it is our scrapbook. You're also welcome to tag me on social media. Right now, all I have, besides YouTube, of course, is a sadly neglected Instagram. But I will try to get better at updating that more regularly. I'd love to know what you think of the designs. And of course, there will be more coming because the dogs must be represented on a shirt too. Let's go to a question by user JD9 and so on, who asks, how is the bedroom update? Does that laugh tell you the answer? I'm kind of pretending like my bedroom doesn't exist. I go in there to sleep, and that's about it. I'm taking a much needed break from it, in other words. I have started about thinking of doing more, and that's usually how the snowball starts rolling down the hill. So there is that, but I think that the bedroom is going to go slowly, at least as far as the closet goes. My plan right now is to stuff it with clothes as full as possible until all of them are in there, and then once that is done, go through them again and see what else I can let go of. But it's going to be a very slow process because I overdid it. And when I overdo, then it just sets me back. And that's really what's happened here. My plan is to hang stuff up a little at a time, filming it, of course. And then once I have it finished, then I can share it with you, because I think the pace I need to go at is very, very slow. And I think it will be more enjoyable to watch once it's done and all of it's put together. Then I can show it to you rather than showing it a few minutes at a time, which is how I have been doing it. You will see the process. Don't get me wrong. You'll see it, I promise. But I think we're going to stick with the scrapbook room and the living room hotspots for a bit longer. But I do want to clean some things because I have 2 oxygenators in my room, and they don't take up a small amount of space. They're kind of significant. One works. I'm not using it right now, but given my history, I think I had best keep it. I'd like to move it to the hallway closet, but the hallway closet is another disaster. So, yeah, I've got some work to do before it can go there. So that's one oxygenator. The other one is super loud, and I don't know how well it works anymore, but I don't know what to do with it. So if any of y'all out there know what to do with an old, maybe not working oxygenator, let me know. Do I just put it on the side of the road with a sign that says might not work but free? Or, yeah, any suggestions there would be welcome. I'm hoping and praying that once the clothes have been dealt with, that the rest of the bedroom will be a bit easier. I do also have a problem, which I think I've mentioned in a previous video. I bought a shelf for a bunch of things that I wanted to put in the living room, or no, in my bedroom. But I now have a dog who is no respecter of shelves. All he respects is whether or not he can reach it. So I have a new shelf still in the box, well outside the return period. And I don't think I can use it anywhere. I'm also a butterfly and do want to put some things out on shelves, including my K-pop collection, a little area that kind of celebrates my beautiful Cupid, the creepy doll collection. There will probably be some childhood mementos that go in there, or maybe some of my favorites from my autograph collection. So now I'm thinking maybe some floating shelves will be the solution in there. Let's get back to what I'm doing. I am going through these pocket page cards to either rule them in or out for this project. I'm going to go ahead and pull the ones that don't seem quite right out, but I'm also separating them into piles of ones that are more decorative or won't really have comments from y'all that I print out and put on the cards, put on them, if that makes any sense. Words are hard sometimes. Let's go back and explain that a little bit better. Some of the cards are simply decorative, or they may have like a title on them that covers the entire card, whereas others are more designed to include journaling on them. So I'm just dividing them into those two piles. My initial idea was that I would just put those in a clear envelope that I have here, but I have too many cards for that. I'm going to use a small plastic box that I would put 4x6 photos in instead, and that will work out just fine. I might actually get these cards used up, and then I don't know what I'll do for this scrapbook, but that is a problem for future me. Moving on to another question from Sherry K546. Would you ever want to show off some of your creations? Definitely, I would do that. I need to get the mystery boxes and stuff out of the way first, but I will plan to do that in another video. Also, I think the pups need some of their own screen time. I love that. I have a few ideas for that too, but they're still in the early stages. We'll put it that way, but I'm glad you enjoy watching their antics. Rose for the King asks, have you found a pillow you like yet? Yes and no. I tried one of the pillows that someone suggested, but I wasn't a fan, but I have been using it. And I've also been using the small half-size pillow that has Cupid's picture on the pillowcase. And it turns out that I really kind of like that half-size pillow as part of my pillow routine. I might play around with that a little bit more. The next part of the question is whether you're currently doing more in your room or not. Do you see yourself doing a lot more butterfly organizers there too? Absolutely yes. I've mentioned that I want floating shelves for my bedroom. I have some smaller floating shelves that I want to put somewhere else in the house. I just haven't figured out where. I also have some shelves that are in my spare bedroom, and they are probably my favorite storage so far in the house. Hands down. That's the long answer. I guess the short answer is I feel I love it so, so much. Maybe that's part of why I don't want to be working back in my master bedroom, because I'm so excited about this. But anyway, no more spoilers though. We will get to that when we get to that particular room of the house. Let's pause the questioning for a minute. I have consolidated my travel bin, and now I am working on some bins that were right by my scrapbook desk. This one has a ton of embellishments from all of my Felicity Jane kits. They were a scrapbook kit that I belonged to for, I think, about 7 years. I was keeping all of the items together because it made it easier for me to use them when I would pull out my Felicity Jane papers. However, I feel like this was not the best way to store things, because it's a hot mess at the bottom of this bin, and there's not really a whole lot of organization. Some of the items are on jump rings, others are really not. I am trying to just spread things out right now, see if I can set things into categories and decide, do I want to still keep Felicity Jane together? Do I want to mix it in with other products? So far, I've got piles for tags, and I do have lots of other tags that I need to use. And I'm hoping that by having a bin just for tags, I will actually use some up, because I have to tell you, tags are among the lower used items in my stash. So I want to know if that's because I have them very poorly organized before now, or if it's because I really just don't like them that well and will not use them. So that's kind of the point of all of this. Another category I've got are envelopes. I love using envelopes for journaling, or you can even put extra photos in them. I have a bunch of puffy stickers and a bunch of epoxy stickers. So I'm going to separate those out. Here you can see I've got some labels, and I also have labels separately with other product lines, so I might be doing that. This is just too wide to fit into the bin, so I'm trimming it off. I'm not cutting the product, just the packaging. I'm also coming across lots of little miscellaneous items. I've got some rubber pieces. I have some chipboard pieces. I have some washi tape. I've got all kinds of little things, and I got to this little alphabet and I was like, I don't even think I'm going to use that. So that's going in the stuff to go out. I found that I had a lot of fun going through the products at first, but then as I start drilling down into the micro-organizing, there are some things that I just am not sure where I will put them. Are they going to go into other categories? Like, should all of my rubber pieces go together, or do I want to organize more by these are heart decor or these are stars? So then I start thinking about how I scrapbook, and when I scrapbook, on occasion I will say, oh, I'd like a heart here, but usually it's, oh, I want something about this size to go here. And so then it made it easier for all of the Felicity Jane stuff to be together. But I really have a big pile of it and would like to make a bigger dent in it than I have been. That's something I am thinking about and will continue to think about. This room is definitely going to need continuing thought and trial and error. Let's go to a question by Megan T. Florida. I always wondered if you were in therapy. Yes. I have been in therapy on and off since I was in high school. I absolutely recommend it. I find it very helpful. I do feel a bit like I have plateaued in my current therapy, and I'm going to be looking for something else. It's always a bit daunting, though, to look for someone new, you know? And now I have a dog on my lap, but I can't get to I can't get to my computer. Oh no, help me. It's a train to crazy town around here all the time, I swear. Oh boy. Anyway, getting back to it, and now I have a dog crawling on me again. I have decided that I need some grief therapy, and so that's probably going to be my next thing. And I definitely want to encourage those of you who wonder if you need therapy, why not give it a try? Sometimes it's hard finding the right person. If you feel like one isn't working for you, definitely don't hesitate to try another one. I absolutely encourage you, don't take up the stigma of mental health issues. Many of us grew up with the idea, reinforced by society, that going to therapy makes you weak, and that is absolutely not true. In the Rockies asks, I was curious about your age and any health issues and how you deal with it all while trying to declutter. I am in my early 50s and I have many health issues. Oh dear. Let me count the ways. Okay, I have chronic depression, social anxiety, ADD, I have asthma and allergies that are very intertwined. I am a sepsis survivor. I am overweight, have high blood pressure, and there's something I'm missing. What am I missing? Sorry, brain's not working. I feel like I'm missing something. How I deal with it all. It kind of ties into your next question, which is any advice on how to get my butt out of bed when I hurt and I'm fatigued and depressed. First, I want to say that I relate to this very, very much. And I'm sorry that this is what your life is like. For me, it really helped to find some outside motivators. And the first one is, of course, my dogs. It doesn't have to be dogs. It can be children. It can be other family. It can be time with friends. I find it very helpful to have something to look forward to, whatever that is. Maybe it's a concert. Maybe it's a picnic. Maybe it's going out to a movie. Whatever it is, find something to look forward to and see if that helps give you motivation to get up. I know it's hard though. I do. The other thing for me is that something really happened last summer. And I don't know why or where it started, but I just hit a point where I was like, I don't care how depressed I am. I have to do something about the situation that I'm in right now. That desire to have a different life overcame everything else. It overcame the depression. It overcame the fatigue. And it's not that I don't feel those things. It's not like I just woke up one day and was like, well, no more depression, no more fatigue, no more pain. I'm just going to do this. It was, I need to do this. And I have to somehow do it in spite of everything else. And that, of course, meant starting small, but chipping away at it, or one would say peeling away, because even the little things help. The little things add up. They do, I promise you. And it sounds like you're dealing with more physical pain than I am, and we're all in different places in what we're dealing with, whether it's mental health issues, physical health issues, lots of obligations, whatever it is. Just start small, have a goal in your mind, make it a small goal at first so that you can feel accomplishment when you do it. You've seen for me that often my goals are, I want to tackle the entryway, or I want to do this corner of the living room. For someone else, it might be, I want to declutter for 10 minutes 3 times a week. Something else that helps me is knowing that all of you are there and rooting for me, even when I just am too tired to do a single thing that day. Besides, making sure that my dogs have food and water. I know that you're cheering me on from near and afar. And I want you to know that I'm rooting for you too. Just like you're in this with me, I'm in this with you. We are in this together, and we can do it. And I know you can do it. I'll be thinking about you. Here comes a question from Shay, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the rest. I'm sorry. Have you always had such a positive persona? And this question just kind of blew me away. Because I don't. I don't think of myself as a positive person. I've always seen myself as kind of a realistic, leaning, pessimistic person. And am I changing? What's going on? Let's see if I can figure this out. I've always been a better friend to other people than myself. But I think once I had that epiphany last summer, I realized that I needed to, if I was going to do something about my house and about my surroundings, I needed to do things differently, and I needed to start treating myself like I was a friend to myself and not such an enemy. I know that may sound kind of weird, but as someone with chronic depression, I've been good at negative self-talk. It's one of my talents. Maybe I don't want that talent, really. I've been to some dark places over the years, and after my dad died in 2021, things kind of spiraled and got really bad. I've always known how to love, though, even when I didn't love myself. And I guess positivity and grace and all of those other things come from love. That's the best answer I can give. Sorry if it's not really the answer you wanted, or if I didn't explain it well. The next question, the masks you wear, is it for a weakened immune system? I do have a weakened immune system, but it's really because it is not easy to share your house and your life with the world when you have a house like mine. And so I just wanted some anonymity. I am getting kind of tired of the mask though, and the shame is dissipating, so you'll probably be seeing my face pretty soon. The next question on that, or the next part of the question, what differences have you seen from day 1 to now of the puppy? The first day he got here, he was so skittish. Like, he was outside. He was an outdoor dog before I adopted him. So he was just roaming around outside, and I would go out there and he just was like, "Who are you?" "Who are you, lady?" And so I would come in, and then he would come in because I would tape up the doggy door, and he just would walk in, and then if he saw me looking at him, he would run right out again. And then when he started to be in more often at night, he wouldn't come to bed until like late, super late. Oh wait, I gotta pause for a second and explain what I'm doing here. So I got to a certain point sorting all of the Felicity Jane items where I kind of thought I need to think on some things before I can fully decide whether I'm going to keep all of the Felicity Jane products together or keep some of them together and separate some, which is kind of what I'm leaning to right now, or whether I just want to separate it all. And thus, I put them in piles next to my workspace here, because that's kind of what I do. And I knew at the time, I'm like, this is no way to go about this, but I really did feel like I need to think about this for a hot minute before I commit. And so I'm setting it aside. I will come back to it another day with fresh eyes and fresh energy. So instead, I grabbed another bin. This is also a bin from right next to my desk. And it has lots of words and phrases that I can use for titles on my scrapbook page. And I'm not saying that I need to be buried with these, but they are among my favorite scrapbook supplies. So I decided I did want to organize them a bit more than they were. Like, I had all the black ones together, all the white ones together, but there were a few stragglers, and the white ones and the multicolor ones were kind of all mixed, and so I separated those out, and I'm hoping that will help me. And I know that there's some more lying around. there are more hiding around in a few boxes, so once I get those all put together, I can figure out if anything else needs to go in that bin or if I can just leave it as it is. And now I'm sorting some other things that were in that bin. And I've got more puffy stickers, more phrases. Really kind of excited about putting all of my phrases together, or, many of my phrases together, so I can really dig into and use some of those up. Let's get back to Colt, and I have chatted for so long, I need to be quicker. Okay, so it took him a long time to where he would actually come in and stay the whole night. Like, for a while it was outside, and then it was outside, and then inside on the couch, and then he finally, now is like, okay, I can handle this, sleeping on a bed thing. We are still working with socializing with other people and other dogs. So that's a work in progress. Along with some other things like, scratching the back of my head when he wants my attention. Last question. What will the process be for selling the craft supplies? We are doing mystery boxes, and the first ones are ready to go. These are the scrapbooking boxes, so they will have 12 by 12 paper, cardstock, embellishments, some alphabets. There will be a round of card making kits as well, but I will talk about those in a future video. For now, it is just 12 by 12 kits. Go to the description and you'll learn how to get one of those. Coming soon is my patio clean out. Very excited about that. I'm gonna set up a space to be with the guys and chill in a more, let's say, tidy environment.